I can't be friends with women who are boy crazy and obsessed with male attention. We are not 15 years old. There are other things to talk about. Let's talk life goals. Let's talk about our flaws, real life issues. Let's support each other instead of gossiping about other people.
Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Omaomi aka Petite Diva, and in this video we are discussing male-centered women and if such women are good friends or bad friends to other women. So let's check out what people have to say and then I'll come back to share my thoughts.
I can't be friends with women who are boy crazy and obsessed with male attention.
Okay, no, but can we talk about this one? Because no offense if the shoe fits, but women who are boy crazy are a liability, and quite frankly, they not your friends for real. Women who prioritize male acceptance and validation over everything will do quite literally anything to get it, including throwing you, their friend, under the bus, trying to embarrass you to make them look better, and in worst case scenarios, putting you and your safety at risk, for example, leaving you alone at a party to go be with a guy. Not to mention their only contribution to their friendship is them talking about guys relentlessly and usually being extremely self-centered because all they want to talk about is the guys you're talking to and the problems that come with it. Unfortunately, these women find their identity in their proximity to males, and it's sad to see and be around. But as sad as it may be to see, that ain't my problem to fix, okay? I make sure to steer clear women who are very much boy crazy because the character Cassie isn't just on a TV show, she's in real life too, okay?
I did a video a while ago that I got a lot of shit for, where I'm basically saying for the most part that I cannot be friends with women who are male-centered. All they think about is relationships, marriage, finding a man, dating a man, deciphering what his texts and voice tones mean, venting about men. It's exhausting. And I've had a few people be like, what's so wrong with a woman depending on her friends to come to vent about the shit she's going through with men? Now, first of all, I need y'all to be fucking for real. A lot of y'all will reach and dislocate your shoulder to make a non-existent point. I'm not talking about you're in a relationship and y'all have broken up and you need someone to help you through that, or you're going through a divorce and you need support through that, right? I'm talking about every single fucking day of the year you are calling or texting me repeatedly only to talk about, can you believe what he said? Can you believe what he did? And I have exhausted myself giving you advice, and I have drained my energy being a listening ear. You have nothing else going on except for who you are dating, how they feel, what they want, or how you're going to get your next man. You are never there for me when I am going through a hard time. And anytime I try to depend on you or talk about anything going on in my life, you somehow flip it to turn it back to talking about you and the shit you got going on with some man. I'm talking about anytime we hang out and have girls' time, that quickly turns into guys' time because you're looking around to see who is single, who looks cute. Do I think they look cute? Do I think you should walk up to them? Do I think that you look cute so that they can walk over to you? Are you approachable? Now, I'm afraid that you're going to leave me alone, and I'm concerned about you because you're going to go off with some random guy that you just met, and now I'm worried that you're going to end up on the news because you done disappeared somewhere because he's done something to you. Now, when we go out, you're sitting here laughing at their jokes because they're making fun of me because I'm not giving them the time of day. And now I got to ditch you and not talk to you no more because I don't deal with that shit.
I'm a girl's girl through and through, and I have been looking for a best friend for like the past.
Okay, I don't know who this young lady is, but I had a chance to watch your entire video, and you seem like the sweetest girl ever, honestly, and you're so pretty. However, I gotta be honest with you, okay? This might hurt, but it's gonna help you. The reason why it's hard for you to find friends, like female friends, as well as sustain those friendships is because a lot of women are male identified. Yep, I said it. And you're gonna notice this as you get older. When those friends that you have get into a relationship, or if a man starts giving them attention, pay very close attention to that. Because sometimes what happens is that their personality, their entire existence and livelihood is going to be centered around that very man. And when that happens, you go from being a friend to a placeholder very quickly. I couldn't snap my finger. That was really awkward. But anyways, you go from being a friend to a placeholder. And when you're a placeholder, that girl is only going to come to you and she's only going to want to see you and hang out with you whenever there is drama, toxicity, and turmoil currently occurring in that relationship. You will be a therapist. You will be the comforter. And it's going to happen repetitively. And if you find that it's happening on a repetitive basis, you need to take a step back and really analyze and assess where your friendship stands. And it's sad because I've had to do this with a few girlfriends, and it hurts knowing that you were only there just to be the therapist, nothing more. Just, I need you because my man and I are having issues. I don't know what to do. I can't find solutions, blah, 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 blah. And it becomes so repetitive to the point where it's really going to start to mess with you emotionally, and you're going to feel exhausted and depleted. And when that happens, like I said, that's where you need to assess where your friendship stands. And something I've noticed about male-identified women who constantly feel the need to hyperfixate themselves around the concept of marriage, the concept of being with a man, or just men, period, I find that when they center those men, they have no time and they don't have the capacity to be able to center themselves. And what happens is that when they center those men, their lives are chaotic. It is filled with drama. It is just traumatic, and it's always resulting in turmoil. Like, there's no middle ground and there's no peace.
Millennials were literally raised by the most male-centered group of women. I feel like boomers and generations before that, they were so male-centered because having a man was like literally the end-all be-all, and if you didn't have one, then something was wrong with you, and women were like just so shamed. If you're not married by 30, don't have kids by this age. But I feel like as millennials, we don't give a fuck. Like, we're doing what we want to do, and we're breaking cycles of the way things were. And so I feel like that's why we see so many women that are male-centered today, because our mamas was male-centered. That's literally what we were raised by. And how can you know better if that's all you've seen? It takes work to unlearn stuff, just like anything that you've learned in your childhood. It's instilled in you, and it's going to take a lot of work to reprogram yourself. I grew up very male-centered. Think about all the shows that we watch: Sex and the City, Girlfriends, and I'm sure there's a lot more shows where they're so male-centered, and it's like we were literally taught to be the same way and to prioritize men in marriage and just everything. Can you blame us?
I pray that God never gives me a male-centered friend ever again a day in my life. I am so over it. I never talk about the hardest friendship breakup that I've had to deal with because it's so disappointing to me, yet I still have this loyalty to it that I feel like, don't talk about this because, you know, she may feel bad. But when I think about it, she allowed my life to be in danger and took it as gossip and didn't think to even contact me and say, hey, someone's threatening you. My friend's ex was not a very nice person, and it got to a point where he was sending threats towards me to her. And instead of her telling me this information, she went and told other people. Now, some would say maybe she felt uncomfortable to tell me this information because she was scared of him. That's something that I thought about for a long time as well. But she told other people as if it was gossip and sent screenshots, and they were actually my friends. So I found out by way of them saying, I think you need to know this information. And even in that moment, I was so badly wanting to think of how to protect her as well that I contacted her and was like, I found out this information, like, you should have told me. I'm calling the police. He can't be making threats to me and like threats to you either. She was like on board. She didn't say sorry. She apologized to me afterwards when I ended the friendship, because I was like, you didn't tell me and I can't continue to be friends with you. Like, this is something that at this point I can't sit with. There'd been so many things in our friendship where it came to men and I was like fobbed off. But at this point, it was like, you will actually allow me to be in danger and you wouldn't tell me. I can't be your friend. And I thought it ended there, but it didn't, because once I said we couldn't be friends and I was contacting the police waiting for my updates, they said that my case had been closed because she had all of the evidence and they needed the evidence direct from the source and she refused to give it to them. But her case went ahead. So if he did want to do something to me, I would have had nothing to protect me, nothing in place that would have protected me in that situation. And it's like, I've never really sat with and grieved that situation, but whilst I'm going through other relationships where I'm having to end them much sooner than it getting to that point, I'm thinking about how far I let that go and how much I've still been holding on to that in a way to keep that a secret for that person, when that really hurt me. Now I'm looking at the friendships that I have where I'm seeing the signs of those same patterns repeating, and although it hasn't got to the point of me being in harm, I'm not waiting to get to the point where I'm in harm for that to happen again, because by the grace of God, she just happened to tell the right people who would tell me. If she didn't and that continued, who knows, something could have happened to me or one of my loved ones. So I just feel like it's so important that we protect ourselves from people. Anything can happen.
Terms with the fact that I no longer want to surround myself with women that don't know their worth.
Being boy crazy is not cute at any age, but it's especially alarming when you're in your mid to late 20s, 30s, and even 40s. And I used to be friends with someone like that, and I'm not anymore. When someone revolves their worth around how other people perceive them, in this case, the opposite sex, as creator explained, like, I'm just trying to have a nice time, you're out here crying, you're always... I'm going to tell you a little bit about my experience, and this is very deep-rooted. You are not a friend to them. You're an audience, or you're a sounding board, or you're a support system. They actually don't really care about you. You are a placeholder for them emotionally until they meet someone who can like love them in the way that they want or whatever. But here's the thing. I also believe a lot of these people are not to be trusted, because on one occasion I was out with this, but I've known them for a really long time, like my entire adult life. Okay. And they were texting their guy friend they knew for many years. I said, what's he doing at like this time of night? And we were like celebrating something in my life. Not that I care that you're on your phone, but it was like, she wasn't even there, you know? And I was like, isn't he like spending time with his fiance, whatever? And she wanted this whole thing, how he always had a crush on her. She never wanted him, but now she's single. And his fiance is 8 months pregnant, and he was sending her flirty, sexy texts. So I said, how would you feel if that was your man, and her man, mind you, cheated on her? She has kids. I said, how would you feel if that was so-and-so that did it to you? And you know what she said? But I knew him first. And that's when I realized that was my cue to just get as far away from you as possible, because you are like a decade older than me and you've learned nothing about morality or the world. At some point, these people will honestly put their own children like at the bottom of the hierarchy for a little scraping of male sexual attention or validation. So please don't for 1 second think that they actually care about you as a human being. You are just like a prop, someone that they can go out with in hopes to pull more people. I don't find it trustworthy. I don't find it interesting conversation. And another thing is, you're always going to be perceived competition, even if they know it or not.
The worst type of women to be friends with are women that are male-centered. Yes, I said it. Women that revolve their whole life around a man. Women that cannot get over a man. I don't care. I don't know how crazy you can be to be addicted over a man. Tell me why, as my friend, you come to me every other day and complain about what this man is doing. This man did this to me. He slept with my masseuse. He texted my sister. He texted his ex, I love you. I mean, there are worst cases. I don't even want to mention it here. Now, you come to me and tell me all these things, crying, hurting. Sometimes you even go as far as hurting yourself. You go as far as hurting yourself. You give yourself injuries and marks on your body over this man. And you come to me. Sometimes you even bring your things to mass and tell me, oh, I don't want to be with him anymore. I'm done. I mean, I'm hearing I'm breaking up with him every other day. Like every day, we've broken up. Every day we've broken up. And after you say you've broken up, after a day, We don't even get one day. You tell me I've broken up in the morning, you're crying seriously, you've caught yourself, and in the evening, you are besties. In the evening, people now want to use me to reconcile. I mean, I would understand if it happens once, twice, but if it happens every week you're breaking up with him, every week you're wounding yourself, every week something is wrong, I'm going to cut you off. I'm going to cut you off.
Please listen when I tell you a male-centered woman will never be your true friend. And this is why I can't stand those conversations when people are like, oh, I'm almost this age, time to get married, time to have kids, oh, I'm doing nothing else in my life, time to jump in a relationship I'm not happy with. Stop. Okay, I know y'all hate to have these conversations because you think everybody is just a bitter, miserable hag who's single and doesn't have anybody, but it's not even about that. It's about your dignity, because what are you doing? Having people on rosters that you don't even like just for the sake of having a roster? What? I say these women will never be your friends because they only get their validation from men showing them any semblance of attention. That means when you go out, it's going to be a subtle competition of who can get the most stares, who can get the most looks. Ooh, I wonder what men are out tonight. Ooh, da 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 da. Like, it's always going to be about a man. These people have no substance outside of that. And I'm sorry, I don't actually believe that. I feel like they have so much more they can dig down deep into and like learn about themselves, but they present themselves and they behave as if the only thing they have to look forward to is a man texting them something. You will probably be the last option when it comes to hanging out. They will probably only hang out with you when their little date with their mediocre man fell through. They'll hang out with you when it's time to talk about all of the fuck shit that's going on in their relationship. Because, you know, they have to dump on their friends and not the person they're sharing bodily fluids with. Because, no, that's too much. No, that's what their friends are for. 9 times out of 10, they're talking shit behind their friends' backs. Because remember, kids, if somebody can talk shit to you, they are certainly talking shit about you. And you know what? A lot of us, when we were younger, we had a lot of friends. Maybe we were a little male identified ourselves because we haven't taken the time to unpack that internalized misogyny that we have going on. Some of these people never do that work. Some of these people don't have the self-awareness to like be like, oh, wait a minute, I care a little bit too much about what these men think about me. And when I was younger, maybe I would let that slide. You could talk about the same old ain't shit man 50 times in a row, because you know what? I was probably doing the same thing too, because I didn't have the wherewithal. I didn't have this thing turned on, my frontal lobe. So that's fine. My late 20s, no, I don't have any patience, and you can call me mean, you can call me strict, I don't care. I'm strict when it comes to the people I date. I'm strict when it comes to the people I hang out with, because you're not about to talk my ear off about the same shit over and over and over again.
Being male-centered is so cutesy as a teenager. Oh, I'm boy crazy. Once you turn 21, baby, just go ahead and let it go. Because the male-centered women are the women with 10 kids and 16 baby daddies. They're not able to get anywhere in life because when other people are worried about their goals, their dreams, their ambitions, school, etc., their degree, all you're worried about is Charlie and who he was with last night. Being male-centered as an adult will turn you into a loser with nothing to show for your life. This might sound mean. I might be harsh. You're not being a girl's girl. Certain messages don't need to be delivered warm and fluffy. It really don't. Like, you being male-centered at 21, you're a loser. You don't have nothing to show for yourself. No goals, no dreams, no ambitions. Just want to be on the side of a man, like a PS5 controller on the man's lap. Wake up, sister. Your life is passing you by. And y'all know me, y'all know I love my man. But my goals, my dreams, my ambitions, my career always come before a relationship. A man could wake up and walk out of your life today. Your degree will have your name on it forever. The accomplishments that you're able to get under your belt will be there forever. Your accomplishments are lifelong. A relationship might not be.
Another person to avoid who is male-centered is a girl who gonna drop anything and do anything what her dude call. And this is evident, like, if you guys are hanging out and then she get a call from him and you guys etched out this time to be together and she prioritizes spending time with this guy over spending time with you. And it's like, oh, you supposed to yell your husband, not no nigga you just met. Don't ever put no nigga you just met before me. I don't give a fuck. And I think it's very telling about the type of girl that these girls are. They're not sisters. They're not down for camaraderie. They're not down for sisterhood. Like, they only know to prioritize men. And I blame patriarchy just a little bit, but it's just like, at some point you gotta hold these girls accountable, because if you cherish my friendship, you're gonna prioritize spending time with me. And if you don't, I'm gonna leave. I'm gonna shake. I know my value. I know my self-worth. If you can't etch out some time for me, then we don't have a friendship to be had, because Why is it whenever he say jump, you say how high? And it's not even your fiance, not even your husband. This is a man you've only known for 2 or 3 weeks. If a girl gonna prioritize a man over her friendship, that's something to avoid.
This makes me not a girl's girl, but one thing about me is I cannot be friends with male-centered girls. If we're friends and our hangouts are just centered around us just talking about men, respectfully, I can't do it. Spray, spray, spray. If we're out at the bar, the club, whatever, and your mood and whether we had a good time or not is determined by how many men talked to you that night or if men came up to you, whatever, it's not gonna work, babe. If you're continuously putting yourself in harm's way or just like compromising situations to go be with men or whatever, I don't think that's like quirky or it's like it's for the plot. I think that's like behavior that you might want to look into, to be honest. Because I just think if you're out with your girls and you're just like running off to go be with some random man that like you just met, not only are you putting yourself in danger, but you're literally putting your girls in danger. And something else that I will just like always stand by is there is absolutely no reason for you to get a boyfriend and just like ditch your friends. I've been with my boyfriend for almost 7 years now, and there is not a single friend who will tell you, yeah, like Beyonce just like ditched us, she started hanging out with me less as soon as she got her boyfriend. Because respectfully, you need your girls. You need friendship. Your boyfriend cannot be like the sole thing, the sole person in your life. I will say it is a totally different situation though if it's like it was a toxic friendship and your boyfriend helped you realize that like you're in a toxic situation with your friends. That's different. Kudos to him, good for you. But otherwise, think about it.
I have a male-centered acquaintance, and I won't even call her a friend because every time we get to the point of almost being friends, she'll either get a boyfriend or start a talking stage with some guy and just completely disappear off the face of the earth. And then when she breaks up with that guy, she pops right back in. She's inviting me out to drinks. She wants to go out all the time. She's like, let's go do something. And so I'll give in and say, okay, let's see if she's changed this time around. So I'll go out. And then the entire time I can just see she's looking to find a guy. She's just waiting to lock eyes with some guy. Like everything she does is about getting the next man. It's so crazy. So the last person she started dating, she disappeared for like a year and a half or so. And then I don't know if he ended up like cheating or what he did, but they broke up. And it was almost immediately. It was like the week of the breakup. She all of a sudden is inviting me out multiple days in a row. So I was like, this is so weird because I haven't heard from you. So then I go and look like on her social media and lo and behold, they broke up. So I'm just like, I'm not that friend that you're going to keep just hanging in the balance until you're ready to be friends for real. So I did eventually cut her off. And this was quite recent, but it's just like so, I cannot be friends with male-centered women.
When I deal with a really male-centered woman, I just want to shake her and be like, they hate you too, girl. They hate you more than me.
Women who are extremely male-centered are never, have never, and will never be loyal real.
This one time in college, I was at a house party with my coworkers / friends, and she was in like the process of dating this guy who also was at the house party with his cousins and friends. And I was completely drunk, didn't remember anything, like blackout drunk, and the guy's cousin allegedly tried to have sex with me, and I walked downstairs like crying, and it was like this whole ordeal. And the next day when I woke up and I felt like, oh, something down there, I was like, because after you sleep with someone you can feel like, but I didn't have any like recollection of this. So I was like, what's going on? And I went to my friend and I was like, hey, like what happened? And she told me that's how I knew, like I came downstairs crying. But after that, like she was just like, I don't want to be involved with this. I'm not dealing with this. And even when I was like asking her for like his number so that I could reach out to him and see like what happened? Like why was I crying? Like what did we do? And she refused to give me his number. She was just like, I'm not getting involved with this because I'm not messing up my chances with the guy. And I was so like completely shocked that she just so brazenly said that to me. because I was like, oh, I thought we were friends. You know, we work together. We hang out all the time. And yeah, I had to take myself to the hospital to get myself checked out. Like I didn't take anyone with me because like I felt embarrassed and ashamed. Man, like just really, really disgusting. I felt bad. I ruined I felt like I ruined our friendship for drinking and kind of, I guess, putting her in a compromising position with her boyfriend at the time or whatever. I felt really, really bad about that. Like, I took that so personally.
If you're hyperfixated on finding a man or a high value man or a provider man, I can promise you you're not going to find it. I can promise you. You know why? Because if you're hyperfixated on it, you are not fixated on yourself. If you're hyperfixated on finding a man rather than hyperfixated on being the best version of yourself and knowing that wherever you go, you are the prize, I know you're not attracting. Like, I know. And that's not me trying to put you down. It's just me understanding the law of energy and energetics and knowing that if you're radiating outwards so much so to the point that you are not focusing inwards, then it's just not going to work. Like, there's a difference between having a goal of meeting people, whether that's a man or friends, versus like desperately trying and like everything you do converges on this one thing, and like every decision you make and every place you decide to go to and everything your life is revolved around is like this one thing. It is like there's a very fine line between being perseverant and being obsessed with anything other than what is going to make you radiate.
So male-centered women are women who largely think that everything about them is to be pleasing to a guy. So the mentality, everything is all about men, how they can be a certain way for a guy. And when they eventually have a relationship or in a marriage, most of their mentality is just to please their men. And for a lot of other women who are not male-centered, they feel like they are not the best kind of friends to have, because sometimes they will throw you under the bus just to please a guy. And sometimes, like when they are in a relationship, they will forget that you are their friend. They will practically abandon you. And whenever the relationship does not work, if it doesn't work out, they will now remember, oh, they have a support, and then come back and act as if, no, they did not ditch you, they did not make you feel a particular kind of way. If you spoke out that, I don't understand why I'm not seeing you like that, why you're not being my support, and then now come back and be like, oh, nothing, like as if nothing happened. So quite a lot of women who are not male-centered feel like male-centered women are not the best kind of friends to have, especially if you are looking for people that will have your back almost all the time and that will help you achieve your dreams and goals in life. Personally, I try to avoid being like close friends with male-centered women because I don't want to get disappointed. I don't want a case where I would feel like this person should have my back and this person betrays me because they are trying to curry favor with a guy, or they are trying to get a guy or something like that. So I don't think that there are people that you should like put in your corner as guaranteed people that will help you in case of anything, or guaranteed people that you feel like they are in your corner. Personally, another thing I feel like is that when women are in relationship or in a marriage, and you are not, or you are single, or you don't have the same mindset as them when they are being male-centered, you should just like try and cut them off, or just try and put them at arm's length. Personally, most of my friends, male, female, when they got married, I started drawing back because I don't want a case where most of our discussions are not things that I really think is appropriate or is interesting to me. If they are talking about husband, or wife, and I might not be able to relate to that kind of topic. So I just like, for the sake of everybody, just try to like step back. So most of our discussions, if it's not limited to anything that is like binding us, maybe work, school, or something, I really don't have discussions with them because I might not be able to relate with what they are talking about, and they might not be able to relate with whatever is occurring in my own personal life, because our experiences will be different as I'm single and they're married and the rest, and probably having children. So that was my own personal decision. Also, I tend to have issues with conversations that are just mostly about relationship, men, marriage, this, like, is there anything else you people talk about? I've been in areas where I just see a group of women talking about distance, and I'm like, is that all that you guys talk about? Like, nobody's thinking about, oh, I'm going to add value to other people's life, or my purpose in life, how I'm going to achieve it, or a success in career. It's more about, oh, I have to be this, I have to be that, I have to be for this guy, I have to be, know the right person for you to marry. And I'm like, okay, maybe I'm wired in a particular kind of way. I always say that I want to be focused on my purpose. I want to add value to people's life, and whoever that has been appointed to marry or has been appointed to accompany me on this life journey, hopefully that person's values and goals and everything would be a synergy to mine, and it will not distract me from mine, and mine will not distract him from his. So that's my own personal wish. So I'm more focused on continuing my own journey, and whenever the person is supposed to appear, the person will appear. But some people are so like, oh, this guy, this relationship, this marriage, and I'm like, okay, I cannot do that with you guys. I'm thinking of how I will do things, I will achieve things, and if you are just talking about guy, it doesn't work for me, because it's just too stressful at this point in my life for me to be thinking about things that I really don't have control over. What I have control over, or what I can have a little bit of control over, I would like to put all my energy in that, and work hard to achieve my purpose in life, and do things that would be of benefit to the society at large. So that is my own thought about male-centered women and women having male-centered conversation. I don't know what you guys think about this whole topic. Do you think that male-centered women are great friends to have, or do you think that other women should associate with them on a surface level and not really like count on them to be there whenever they need them, or count on them to be great friends to them? I would love to hear what you think about this whole topic. So please leave your comments in the comment section so that we can get this discussion popping. Now, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you are not yet subscribed and you like videos such as this, please consider subscribing by clicking on the red button that says subscribe, and don't forget to click on the bell notification icon by the side so that you're notified anytime I upload videos. Now, with what I said, thank you so much for watching. I hope to see you in the next one. Bye.